Nicodemus, a prominent leader among the Jews. One night he visited Jesus and said, "Rabbi, we all know you're a teacher straight from God. No one could do all the God-pointing, God-revealing acts you do if God weren't in on it." Jesus said, "You're absolutely right. Take it from me. Unless a person is born from above, born again, it's not possible to see what I'm pointing to God's dominion." "How can anyone," said Nicodemus, "be born who has already been born and grown up? You can't re-enter your mother's womb and be born again. What are you saying with this born from above, born again talk?" Jesus said, "You're not listening. Let me say it again. Unless a person submits to this original creation, the wind hovering over the water creation, the invisible moving the visible, a baptism into a new life, it's not possible to enter God's realm." When you look at a baby, it's just that, a body you can look at and touch. But the person who takes shape within is formed by something you can't see and touch, the Spirit, and becomes a living spirit. So don't be surprised when I tell you that you have to be born from above, out of this world, so to speak. You know well enough how the wind blows this way and that. You hear it rustling through the trees, but you have no idea where it comes from or where it's headed next. That's the way it is with everyone born from above by the wind of God, born again with the Spirit of God. Now Jesus continued, "This is how much God loved the world. God gave the begotten one, the one and only child. And this is why, so that no one need be destroyed. By believing in Christ, anyone can have a whole and lasting life." God didn't go to all the trouble of sending the begotten one merely to point an accusing finger, telling the world how bad it was. Christ came to help, to put the world right again. Anyone who trusts in the sovereign is acquitted. Anyone who refuses to trust has long since been under the death sentence without knowing it. And why? Because of that person's failure to believe in the one-of-a-kind begotten one of God when introduced. This is the crisis we're in. God light streamed into the world, but men and women everywhere ran for the darkness. They went for the darkness because they were not really interested in pleasing God. Everyone who makes a practice of doing evil, addicted to denial and illusion, hates God light and won't come near it fearing a painful exposure. But anyone working and living in truth and reality welcomes God light so the work can be seen in the God work it is. Hear what the Spirit says today.
Thanks be to God. Amen. We begin a new sermon series today based on the foundations of our faith, based on the foundations of what it is that we say we believe, and the foundations, that bedrock, if you will, of what is life, what is that Jesus came to teach us. And this sermon series is going to be lasting approximately 5 weeks, where we'll be asking those questions. What did Jesus say about? Because I think that there is a lot of stuff out there in our universe and in our world about what Jesus has been purported to have said. But not a lot about what Jesus really said, and so it's incumbent for us to get back to those foundational pieces. Now, of course, it's by no accident that we're doing a foundational sermon series at the same time that we're also uplifting the foundations of our building. And we've hoped to bring these two things together in such a way that they will bring meaning not only to our faith, but also bring meaning to what we're doing to our building. And as we already heard, just a few more weeks, and we'll be having a sledgehammer party where we will break ground and begin that process. And I want to tell you, it's a very exciting process for us. But I also want to let you know that you're going to have to bear with us in that process because the building is going to be upturned just a little bit. And so it can sometimes unsettle us, especially those of us who like status quo, those of us who like things always the same. And so I want to encourage you, if you are having issues and anxiety issues, don't stay away, but come and speak to one of the pastoral staff or to speak to someone who is a neighbor, because we want to make sure that we get through this together. and not only get it through it together, but get through it stronger, because we know ultimately we're building the new realm of God. And we're making sure that the building is big enough for newcomers until, of course, we outgrow this building, and then who knows where God may lead us next. But for the time being, we want to make sure that the foundation of our faith is also the foundation of the building that we find ourselves in right now.